Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in. It is that time, that wonderful time when a new podcast comes out.
Ta-da!
Yay!
Huzzah! Hooray!
And
people rejoice.
And they did. They should.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? I'm Shelly.
I'm Angie.
And today we're going to talk about something that is probably something we all deal with in some way, shape, or form.
And it's not very talked about.
And it's not always very talked about.
We're going to shine some light in the shadows, people.
That's right.
Get ready for it.
Get your flashlights out.
What are we doing?
I can't remember. No. All that build up. No. We're going to talk about mental health.
Yes.
Yeah.
And neurodivergence and all of those things that a lot of us deal with on a day-to-day basis. But we don't talk about it because it's a little squidgy and it makes us uncomfortable because we don't want to say that we are flawed. We're all flawed. It's
everybody.
It's whatever.
I
don't think it's a flaw.
I don't either. I think it's just part of who we are. And if everybody was perfect, it would be super boring.
It would.
I mean, I'm
perfectly neurospicy.
Perfectly neurospicy.
That's what I like to call it instead of neurodivergent. I'm neurospicy.
I love it.
So I have ADHD in spades. I am a superpowered ADHD woman. I also have massive anxiety. I have phone anxiety. I can't do phone calls. Like, I would rather speak in front of 10,000 people. I have just this last year suffered from depression for the first time. So those are some big hitters.
Yeah, I have been diagnosed with anxiety, just general anxiety disorder. And also I've had episodic depression, which is kind of comes and
What
goes.
does that mean, episodic?
It's usually triggered by a particular event, like maybe you're grieving, maybe you've lost someone. So usually it means something has happened that triggers the thing. There is clinical depression. Mm-hmm. I had a bout of that many, many years ago, and it was because of vitamin D deficiency. Can trigger it.
I really recommend vitamin D just in sun form.
We live in Washington State, and it's very gray here. And a lot of people actually have vitamin D deficiency, and there's a lot of depression. So, and just recently, I've been kind of doing a little more exploring, and there's a chance I have a little bit of PTSD from my childhood. My parents were both alcoholics, so there's all these things that can happen in our lives,
and we don't talk about them.
No control over them,
right.
And they can very much impact you. And none of that means that you are a weak person or that you are defective or that there's anything wrong with you. These are just things that happen in the human condition.
I went to one of my networking meetings last week, and one of the guys there who I'm really close with was like, "Hey, I haven't seen you. I've been gone." And I was like, "Oh, have you? So have I." And he was like, "Oh," he goes, "Well, I had foot surgery." And I was like, "Oh, I had depression." And he was like, "Oh God, are you okay?" I was like, "Are you okay?"
Pretty okay.
So we're sitting there like sharing stories, and I didn't know that he hadn't been there because he had this emergency surgery on his foot or his ankle or something. And then I said, I have had 2024 was really brutal for me. I had a lot of things happening around me. I've never been depressed. I've never been like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I'm just going to sit here and cry, and I don't have any hope. I just want to sit and have a sad day over and over and over, and I'm going to avoid people. I'm an extrovert. So when I'm avoiding people, especially people that I care about, that is a red flag to me. And my husband was like, okay, we need to something needs to change. So when I was telling my friend Fareed this, he was like, wow, thank you for saying that. And just that was really brave to say that. And I'm like, I've never dealt with it, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't need to hide it, I guess, because we all go through shit. And it's, and for me, it's it hasn't been my health or things going on with my marriage. It's been things happening around me that I don't have control over.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I think the way that mental health has been treated throughout, the last century even, up until the 1980s, Like if you had just some really basic generalized depression, or if you were bipolar, or what they called back then, they called it manic depressive. But if you had mood swings, it was really a shameful thing. Like you could lose your job if you were officially diagnosed with something. So a lot of times people just didn't want to get diagnosed with anything. They didn't want to admit that they needed help because it could end their career, depending on what the career was. Also, so a lot of shame associated.
Right. And with ADHD, girls weren't usually diagnosed with it because girls with ADHD tend to be more quiet. Yeah, the chaos is happening in our head, whereas little boys, it's very extraneous. So it's very underdiagnosed, especially in little girls. So I didn't get diagnosed with that until like 2 to 3 years ago. Yeah. And I was listening to a podcast that my friend does, and she interviewed somebody who is now also my friend, and he was talking about how he had like later in life diagnosis of ADHD. And she's like, oh, what is that? Like, how did you find out? What does that mean that you have that? Like, what are the symptoms? And her name's Nikki. She's amazing. I love Nikki to pieces. And his name's Jason. And Jason just starts going on into like all of these symptoms that he had. And Nikki's like, oh my God, I have ADHD. And I'm listening to the podcast. I'm like, oh my God, I think I have ADHD. And then I realized that it kind of gave me a peace in knowing that it wasn't just that I was bad at finishing things, or I was scatterbrained, or I interrupt too much, or I'm too, like, I don't follow through, or I can't ever get shit done on my to-do list. It's because I have an actual chemical imbalance in my brain. It's it's a real physical thing. Like, you don't have the same dopamine regulators and receptors that you do if you're neurotypical. And it's like, oh my gosh, it was like a whole world. And I was trying to explain it to my mom, because my dad has it as well. I said, imagine that we had buckets of Legos. You like this because you like Legos. And I told you that you each needed to make a 2-foot-long train of green Legos, right? They need to be front to back. You just need to make a train of green Legos. For you, you have a bowl of green Legos, and you just take one out and you place it. For Dad, imagine he has a giant vat of all sorts of different colored Legos. So he has to do a lot more sorting and grabbing and staying on task. There's no way he's going to build it the same way or in the same amount of time because he doesn't have the same tools available. Yeah. So when you understand that, so now we use the thing like he's just grabbing his Legos. Yeah. And it's like, oh, right, okay. She's like, why isn't he? It's like he's grabbing Legos. Give him a second. Yeah. Like he catch up.
I think the biggest change that's happened in just society is now it's a lot more acceptable to talk about those things, to say I have this thing, and that means there's more solutions and more opportunities to figure out how to be productive and happy and live with whatever the thing is that you have. I feel like probably almost everybody has something. Right. We just didn't used to diagnose stuff. We just ignored stuff. That was really like people are, back in the day, there wasn't as much.
Nobody had autism back in the 1700s.
It's like they did. They absolutely did. They just didn't have a way to diagnose it, and they didn't have a name for it.
Exactly.
Like this stuff has all been going on for a long time, but now we have these tools and these coping mechanisms and these ways to kind of address what these things are to improve our quality of life. Right. And it can be a behavioral modification. It can be a medication. And as we always say here, we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. Like last night I told you, I had like a very dark storm of stuff that was happening with somebody that I'm close to where she was like talking about harming herself or like even more drastic. And I have lost people that I care deeply about to suicide. So I was triggered immediately. Like it freaked me out. Yeah. And my husband saw me starting to spiral and was like, whoa, let me handle it. Because I'm like, what do we do? How do we, and I'm like, we have to stop it. And I couldn't tell if she was just venting or like needed just like, hey, you're going to be okay. Or if like we needed to call someone. So he said, I will manage this. This isn't something that you have the bandwidth for right now, which I really appreciated. And I said, I'm going to take an anxiety pill. He said, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. So I went and took one, and it's like, it has like, she is okay. Like but it really, like, I just snapped into a spiral, and I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't, like, it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with a lot of conditions, a lot of these different mental health conditions, a lot of them are just on a trigger. I mean, you can be completely fine, and a thing can set it off.
It sets you right back to that moment that you had to deal with it in a different way, and it's like, oh, I know it's about to happen. Like,
I have found, like, with my PTSD stuff, what will put me into, like, almost, I kind of dissociate. I have like a dissociative break. It's when somebody starts telling me to do stuff, but won't really tell me why. Like, why do I need to do the thing? And it instantly is a trigger for me, and it's because my mom, when I was young, during my formative years, she would demand things when she was drunk that did not make any sense. Literally didn't make sense.
So you were trying to figure out, like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, because they weren't logical, but I had to do them, and I got very resentful of not being able to figure out why I was having to do this stupid thing that didn't make any sense. So as an adult, when figures of authority especially have come at me with something with, like, these are the rules, you must just follow them, I kick back to that defensive.
So you just disengage? You just, like, go, like, stonewall? Like,
yeah, and I'm like, nope.
Wow.
But I dig in and I don't want to do the thing. If they give me an explanation and take the time to give me the explanation, then I'm fine with it, if it makes sense to me. But just blindly having to follow an order is a real problem. Like, and my mom would use the argument, because I'm the mom, because I said so. And even as a child, I was intelligent enough to want a real explanation. And that's
especially if it wasn't a logical request. Like, why would I possibly, like, as a kid, you shouldn't have to sort out, like, is this a reasonable request from my parent?
Right.
So it makes sense that you would have PTSD.
Yes.
From that.
And it's just with my children, when I raise my children, and with my grandchildren, I always give them the reason.
Yeah.
And for one thing, it just makes them feel like more a part of the process. But I feel like, I don't care if you're 3 years old or 8, you deserve an explanation for why you're being told to do something.
Right.
And that's easy to do. But it's just, you know, we all have a thing. And I think the more that people talk about things like this and share it, it takes the stigma and the embarrassment out of it, which is really
nothing to be ashamed of. Like, again, it's like a chemical makeup in our brains for some of these things, or it's like because of a traumatic event, or like my anxiety started when I had the car accident, and that's why I can't do phone calls now. Like, if you call my phone, it literally, the voicemail says, if you called me, I'm not going to answer. I probably won't listen to a voicemail. You can text me though, or if you need to get a hold of my business, you can text this. Everything is text only. I just can't.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's wildly inconvenient.
Well, there's a lot more control in a text or a written email. It gives you time to take the information and formulate your answer. When you're live, people can come up with something and you're like, it doesn't give you that moment to process and to think. I mean, some people need that time. They can't just answer like
Well, mine was because the phone was tied to the accident, because when I was hit, I was searching for my phone, and I got Jeff on the phone, and I was like, I just got in a bad accident. And he goes, oh, well, make sure that you get their insurance information. I was like, I'm not sure they're alive.
Oh my God.
And somebody took my phone at that point, because they're trying to, like, they had to jaws of life me out of the car. It was a really fucking bad accident. Like, it was awful. And this one was by my side. Like, she showed up like the next day to sit and take care of, and her husband is like reading me kids' books in a British accent. Yeah. But because they took the phone away from me, and then he was trying to get a hold of me, because he just hears like, I'm not sure they're alive, and then it goes dead and he can't get hold of me. I now have this tie to phone equals life is in danger. And it sucks to have to say, like, I am a very powerful, capable woman with lots of superpowers, can't answer a phone.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, the phone, especially since texting and emails and stuff, since that all came into existence, I feel like phones are very much like telephone conversations. I have to have them for my job, because we do interviews and stuff over the phone. But I feel like almost everybody in my regular life is phased out. Now when somebody calls me, I literally answer and say, who's died? what's going on. I mean, I automatically, if somebody is calling me, it is an emergency. It's never just, hey,
right,
what's up? Because if you're going to, hey, what's up, you text that and you send an emoji.
Well, and one of the things that is like an irrational thing that bothers me is when people say, oh, Angie, I know you don't like phone calls, and it's like, it's not that I don't like them.
It's like, I really can't do them.
They trigger panic attacks. And if you've never had a panic attack, God, you're fucking lucky. Because they're awful. And like having a full-on panic attack. I remember my husband had his first one a couple years ago. My son also has anxiety. My husband had one and he was like, I'm having a heart attack. And I was like, honey, you're having anxiety. And he's like, I'm having a heart attack. And I was like, it's not going to feel like, and I knew he was worked up and he's like screaming on the floor and he's a very docile human. And he was like, we need to go to the hospital. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a very expensive lesson, but okay, we'll go to the hospital. I knew it was a panic attack. But he was like, and I have them almost once a week, and every single time I'm certain I'm having a heart attack. So even though I know that it's never been a heart attack and it never will be, but so we get to the hospital and the doctor's like, yeah, that's an anxiety attack. So my husband comes home and he turns to my son and I was like, oh my God, is this what you guys go, like, is that what it feels like? It's like, yeah, that's why I'm rocking in the corner screaming and crying. Like, it's not fun, but
yeah,
when you get like tools in your toolbox, whether it's like you said, medication or like
behavior modification,
right? Like an exercise that you can do. Like I'm gonna like sing the alphabet and do my fingers a certain way, and I'm gonna, count how many slats are. Like you have to get your brain to go into a different mode and focus on something else, and then all of a sudden it just like poof, it's gone.
I had panic attacks when I had that general. The clinical depression, it came with some panic attacks attached to it. And I ended up in the ER. It's so common. Yeah. You end up in the ER, you feel like your heart is going to explode out of your chest.
I feel like it's just so much like pressure on your chest. It feels like it's ripping open.
And adrenaline.
It feels like the muscles are actually tearing.
Yeah, like adrenaline bursts, rushes. And they hooked me up to an EKG and made me look at it. And they said, do you see the monitor? I'm like, yes. I'm sitting here feeling like everything's just coming out of my chest. He goes, do you see that it's completely normal? And I looked at it and I went, it is. And it's just like what was going on, the feelings I was having did not match at all. And that physically being able to see it, I was able to kind of come down out of that. And then after that attack, I would still have panic attacks, but I did go and do some therapy. And I was able to learn how to recognize when they were coming on. And now I don't have them anymore because I just kind of learned how to top myself out of them. They're terrible. I feel so bad.
I get them all the time.
Yeah, it's
like it's awful. And the thing is, I can't pull myself out of it. I'm starting to learn some tools to pull myself out outside of medication, which I do have medication for it. But like I've taught the people that spend a lot of time with me how to pull me down, and like, just put your hand on my shoulder blade. And so like somebody that I trust, just with their hand, tell me a story in a very calm voice. Don't tell me I'm okay, because I'm not going to agree with you. But if you say, you're safe.
Yes.
You're safe. I'm here.
You're safe. I'm with you.
Like, and distract me and to talk about like, remember those chicken tacos we had? Like all of a sudden it'll just poof, it's
that
gone.
Sounds delicious, by the way.
I would eat a taco. So this was kind of a heavy episode, but it's sometimes you have to like talk about the things that are uncomfortable because we're all going through something. So I like to consider myself a safe place to land. I'm good at holding space for people. So
I think you do. Yeah. Well, I think it's important to understand, like, I think one of the reasons we wanted to do this podcast is we have this really kind of fun, unique friendship. We share a lot of stuff. We share a lot of wisdom, between each other. And we thought it would be really fun for us to be able to include other people in that. But
while injecting our silly, inappropriate humor.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to talk about the
But I think it's important to have, sometimes you need to kind of adjust your sails to get to the happy places, to get to the good stuff, to get to the fun and the laughter. Sometimes you go through these like dark clouds. Sometimes there's storms in life. There's health things that can happen. There's things that can happen in your family. You can lose a job. You can lose a person that you love. You can lose a pet. And you can be transported instantly
to grief and sorrow and sadness.
In a second, you can be, that's what life is. So it's important that when those things happen, you also know that you have tools and people and resources that you can turn to. And
having people like Shelly and I have talked about doing this podcast for, I don't know, I think we figured out 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
Long time. And she, as my friend, recognized that I needed a bright light in my life. And she was like, we need to start that podcast. And it has given me something to look forward to, where all of that bullshit that's happening outside of here goes away, because I'm just laughing with my bestie. Like, we're just having fun. So having those people that are going to show up and be like, I'm worried, let's do something fun. Like, find those people that you can say, like, because she contacted me at Christmas time and she was like, I'm concerned. Like, you are like, you've dropped off the grid. And I'm like, I'm in a real dark place. She goes, we're going to dinner. Like, so having those people that will just like force your hand in the best way is like, I have massive amounts of gratitude for that. So thank you for being.
Well, always. I mean, that's what friends do. And that's like, sometimes you're the friend who needs help and sometimes you're the friend to be support. Friendship is a mutually, you have to watch out for each other. That's part of what it is. And I've had tons of time when people like Angie and other friends in my life have been that light. Like, sometimes you're just in a dark place and somebody can be the light.
And you need something to look forward to. Yeah. And that's what this is. Like, this to me is something to look forward to.
And it's like, it's okay to have like serious moments and serious episodes, because that's part of everything. That's part of the puzzle too. Yes. Our dark sides we have the light side as the complement, but we have to do all those things. Like, humans have to do all of the stuff, right, to feel all of the things and get all of the benefit. And that's why we'd love for you to tell us things that you've gone through, experiences you've had, if you'd like to share those.
Or hear any tips on how to get through some of those things. That would be great too. And since this has been a heavier episode, I would love to end, and I didn't tell Shelly we were going to do this, with 5 rapid fire questions. We're going to lean into my ADHD. I did a series on this before on my Instagram, where it's like, I don't know what I'm about to say. She doesn't know what I'm about to say. We're going to come up with 5 rando questions. Okay. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
If you were a cartoon character, which one would you be?
Betty Rubble. I don't know why I'm screaming.
You don't have to yell.
Okay, sorry.
If you were a kitten, what would your name be?
Oh my God. Cammy.
Cammy?
Cammy Kitty.
Okay, I love that. And if you were going to a dinner party for people that had won awards for their cute pets,
yes,
what would you wear?
Oh, okay. I'm going to wear something very extravagant. And if it's for, you said it was for pets?
Yeah. Well, people that had won awards for pets, I think is what I said.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to wear something animal print, for real. But not made out of animals, just a print. And probably something, I'm going all out. All of this stuff. Sequins, animal prints, feather boa, not made of real feathers.
If you could say anything to your 5-year-old self right now, what would you say?
You're going to have a wonderful life. Enjoy all the things.
Oh, I love that. And what is your favorite color of bird?
Oh my gosh, I have a cockatiel. It has to be, this is going to be boring, but he's gray. But he's so cute.
He's so cute. He has yellow too.
He has yellow and little orange cheeks. So yes.
Do you want to try the ADD and find 5 questions, or does that sound like not?
Oh my God, they want to try it.
Okay. Hit me.
If you were an Italian dish, what would you be?
Spicy meatballs.
Oh, you would be, totally. What's the first thing you grab when you know you're going to go to the beach?
A towel.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're not going to be naked. She's going to have a towel.
Well, no, I'm not wearing a towel.
If you could have any travel companion to go all around the world with you, who would you pick?
My husband. We travel really well together.
That's great. Jeff, you get to go. I thought maybe you should pick me. That's why.
You're my backup.
Okay, thank God. Okay, that's 3.
You were Jeff. Yep.
Okay, if you were a fine vintage of wine, what would it say on the label?
Hot and heavy.
I don't know. I would totally. She's a Pinot Noir, but she's hot and heavy.
And the spicy meatball.
I love it. If you could change your hair color to anything but blue, what is the other color you would have?
Green.
Green. It's very close.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. We are from Washington State.
So that was a little lighthearted at the end of a very hard to talk about episode. And thank you for being vulnerable.
Yes,
I appreciate your authenticity.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank you for listening. And
we'll be back for more of the other stuff. We like to keep you guessing.
Yes.
So we'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in and being a part of this.
Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you laughed, related, or just need more, hit subscribe.
Check out the show notes to find us on socials and YouTube, and join our Patreon for exclusive extras.
And remember,
we're still hot, just in flashes.